Hey everyone, got an article here I want you to check out. It's from the New York Times, and the headline reads, on children's website, NSA puts furry smiley face on its mission. I'm going to read the first two paragraphs. It says, the turtle wearing a hat backward, and that's this guy right here, baggy jeans and purple sunglasses, looks like other cartoon characters that marketers use to make products like cereal and toys appealing to children. But the reptile, known as T-Top, who says creating and breaking codes is really cool, is pushing something far weightier: the benefits of the National Security Agency. So, I got to ask, why are they targeting the children? Well, the government knows that these kids are going to eventually grow up to be vote-casting adults, but these adults will have been indoctrinated towards their way of thinking, or, as most call it today, brainwashed into trusting their political leaders, or sheeple, if you will. And what they're doing here is the exact same thing Rome tried to do during the Inquisitions, but didn't really have a handle on it. They forced the people back then that weren't indoctrinated, the very few that they were able to get to, but the ones that they couldn't, like that weren't brainwashed, they forced them to bow to their political leaders by using all sorts of fearful methods. And we know about them. They're in the Fox's Book of Martyrs, and it's pretty disgusting, some of the things that they use to kill the people with. So, and as I stated, this method failed over time. They just realized the kids kept growing up in households that hated Rome, and so the parents were, of course, warning the kids, and they were just, it was an uphill battle, and they were losing left and right. So, Rome had to change their methods. Do you recall how Hitler used the youth in his day to better control the adults that he wasn't able to educate towards his way of thinking? I mean, once he was able to indoctrinate or brainwash the kids, they actually turned in their own parents to be killed by Hitler. What we see here in America is nothing more than a more modern day or high-tech slant on Nazi schemes. I remember even in the 70s with the tough love situation, everything from the rock music to the teachers themselves getting to you to a point where you were being educated to hate your own parents. Your parents were always the problem. And the prophecy does say in the last days the kids are going to be disobedient to parents and hateful towards them. I mean, the love of many is going to wax cold, right? So, but we got to understand something here. We got to understand that it wasn't all Hitler. He wasn't the main problem. Yeah, the guy was a monster, but he was Rome's monster. Okay, if you go to my website you go to the RCC Exposed and go down to Hitler and the RCC, you'll be on this page right here, right? And yes, Hitler was the first one to use the term, New World Order, or he called it My New Order. But I got all sorts of evidence and links and whatnot and pictures that shows that, yes, Hitler and the Pope at that time were working together, hand in hand, okay? And so this is why we're seeing these Nazi tactics being used by American presidents today. If you want some information on that, just go to my newsletter section on the website, which is, news, and go to the Truth Provided newsletter, go to the old format, and you'll end up, scroll down to newsletter number 124, which is August of 2007. You'll get this newsletter, Rome, Vatican, Hitler, USA. And I go into pretty good detail in regards to in regards to everything from using Hitler's idea with the Reichstag fire, where he burned down his own building and he blamed it on somebody else so that he can have political, like a homeland security is what he set up. And we use the same term even today, homeland security, right after his building burned down. Well, the same thing happened after September 11th when that building went down. And then we see these prison camps. There's over 600 of these prison or concentration camps, as Hitler called them in his day. They're all over America right now. And back then when I wrote this newsletter, there were 600 of them. Now there's, probably twice that. But check this out. In Vatican churches, as well as in the Vatican itself, is where you see the swastika first. That's where Hitler saw it, and that's where he brought it out. And it was his banner, if you will, which also showed control, the control that Rome had over him. But check out this building, and look at the coordinates if you go to Google Earth. This is in Southern California. This is a government building shaped like a swastika. So, this is why we see these Nazi tactics being used by American presidents. But a lot of people miss this. They don't seem to understand that, Nazism was wrong, but they keep blaming Hitler. And he was, and yes, again, the guy's a monster, and he's evil, and he's not to be trusted. And I'm not trying to gild a lily for this guy in any way, shape, or form, but it's really Rome that did it. Okay? And let's see. Yeah, if you go to the characteristics of Antichrist page, you'll see something here that the Bible says in the prophecies that Rome's wound that Napoleon inflicted upon them in 1798, which is number 6 on this page. The Vatican is going to receive a mortal wound and it's going to lose its church and state status. Well, that happened in the exact year of 1798 that the prophet Daniel predicted, as well as John in the book of Revelation. But it also says the wound will heal. Okay, and that's what we see happening today. And so, yeah, Hitler was a monster, but Hitler's dead. So if Hitler's dead, then his tactics die with him. And sure, you got some people that worship him and follow after him, and this is what we see happening in America and all these other places around the world. You got the skinheads and whatnot. But the fact of the matter is the guy's dead. But those who controlled him are still alive. Well, not them personally, but their organization. The Vatican is the one who controlled him, and they're still here. And this is why we see Hitler's tactics being used, because it wasn't so much Hitler's tactics as it was Rome's tactics. Hitler was just following orders. Hope and pray you were blessed. Please share this with as many as possible. Please subscribe. And thank you for watching. God bless.